Hey, high levelers, it's David, the High Level Geek. I wanted to bring you a tool that I think will help you immensely with your build outs. If you're doing build outs from scratch, or you're even grabbing people's snapshots or whatever, one of the biggest challenges with build outs and other things is looking at the whole flow of things. Like, how do things connect? And I know we keep a lot of this in our minds, but honestly, that could be one of the worst places to keep it, because if you ever get hit by a bus and you're gone and your team's counting on you, now all the knowledge that you had is gone. And so where can we put that? So this is going to help you in two ways. One is that retention of knowledge and the ability to pass it on to someone else. The other is what I have found, and is the main part of this video, is how this tool can help you streamline your build outs, even if they're completely custom build outs. Meaning you've got to design this whole system from scratch, or maybe you pull in pieces from things that you've done before, but otherwise you're making a fairly custom build out for a particular application for a particular company or something. And how are you going to do that? How are all the pieces going to connect to each other? It's even hard to say. So imagine visualizing this. So I want to show you like a small example, and this is RV Shepherd, an RV inspection company, and you see the workflow. I've only got 4 folders and a couple things, and even this 30-minute phone call confirmation reminder is really like the main thing. Starts with a missed call text back, leads them to a calendar invite. If they book on the calendar, they get some reminders. If they have the call, then they get an email. And I'm going to touch on something in another video about how forms and ref URLs can make using this system for your end users so much better. Look for that in an upcoming video. That email that they get after the phone call has a link. That link goes to a form. That form generates a contract. That contract generates a invoice, and all those things just are connected to each other. So what I love using is a program called Lucid. And Lucid makes it where you can make all these great flowcharts. If you know about me, maybe you do, maybe you don't. I'm retired Navy. I was a technician in the Navy for 20 years in submarines. And we had these logic flow diagrams, very similar to this. It could tell you how to go from point A to point B, what's supposed to happen, and if it doesn't work, kind of like what to do about it. So for this company, RV Shepherd, there's 3 links. There's a Google Business Profile link, there's a web calendar form link, and there's a missed call text back link. Either 3 of those get a potential customer to a 30-minute phone call calendar. They book on that calendar, and so they get put in these reminders. And all these blue, and you'll see these, I'm going to give you a few more examples, but in these rectangles that are colored aqua, I think that's aqua. Aqua is for automation. Aqua is for automation. They get those automatic reminders and things. And then after that 30-minute phone call, the business owner gets a text that says, hey, you were supposed to have this phone call, about 10 minutes ago, and update the system for the contact. And again, that's the other video that I'm going to do here next. And that's how forms and ref URLs can make the use of this system so much easier for end users who are less techy. So in this case, it sends them a form. In that form, the business owner, this RV business owner, he selects the class of the RV, which is going to set the customer inspection fee, and that's going to go down here. And then he clicks whether to send this person an email or not, if they're interested in his services, or if they're not. If they're not, the decision is no, and we're done. If the decision is yes, then it sends them a prospective RV inspection client email. In that email is a link. And the yellow, so here's some other color coding stuff. Yellow is something that a customer does. Aqua is for automation. Red is something that a human does. I know yellow are human as well, but this is internal humans. Stop is just always red. So the customer fills out this information for RV inspection, contract, and invoice. They get the contract and they sign it. And then they get an invoice email, right, which uses this inspection fee that was set up there. They all come together. And then they get a copy of their contract after they've signed it, and they get a copy, or they get sent the invoice. So this is kind of a smaller one, not super complicated, but just to show you, by mapping this out, before I make any automations, I know that I've got to make a call, follow-up automation. I've got to make a prospective RV inspection client info email automation. I've got to make an automation to set the customer's inspection fee. And I've got to set up the connections, the automations between the contracts and the invoices, the signing and all that stuff, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4 automations for this particular purpose that I just laid out. Now, like I said, this is a fairly simple one, and you can use it for other simple things too, like just mapping out how phones are distributed throughout a particular company, knowing that some lines are, call it public facing. Some lines, like in this, the purple lines are all lead connector phone lines. The green lines are all landlines. And this is a cell phone, the golden phone number, right? And this is a phone we're going to take out of the loop, right? So these are some things that you can also do with your system. Now, sometimes it gets more complicated. Look at this one. This has all the way from a client intake, new leads from a website form, a rank and rent form, type form on a Google Business Profile, missed call text back. What if they just call the office, right? And then we've got these workflows and what's going to happen. Then we're going to schedule them, and there's different things that are all going to happen on each one of these. Goes through, and someone's going to say, was the appointment confirmed? Yes or no? And if it wasn't, what are we going to do? And if it was, what are we going to do? Remodel pool sheets. It's going to create some stuff, right? It just keeps going down. Scope of work, generate a contract, generate a thing. It just keeps going and going. And then we get down even into project management. And this is something we're still building out, but we've started from the top and we worked all the way down, and we have everything built out up into the project ready to schedule. So we have all the intake. We have all the new lead intake taken care of. We have all the estimate schedule. That's to schedule someone out to go out and do an estimate, and then they get a form after that to fill out real quick. And then the document creation, the estimate that actually gets put together in the contract, they get sent to the potential customer. All of that has been workflowed out. We know exactly who is doing what automation's doing what customers are getting contacted, what person's responsible for what, and just whatever's happening all the way down to the point. So right now they're still doing their old project management paper system, but we're starting to work out a new system that will completely automate that as well. So that is Lucid Charts. Lucid Charts, I highly recommend. Now here's another cool trick. This is for free. And something you can do is you can also hyperlink these boxes. So you can hyperlink them so that you can click on them, and if you click them, it'll take you straight to the workflow. So now you want to know what this workflow does? Click the hyperlink, opens up in a new tab, and there's the workflow. There's exactly what it does, and you can see where maybe there's a problem, maybe where there's a disconnect or something like that. I got a line missing. We should draw that in. That line goes right there. And maybe this disconnect, why is this workflow not feeding this workflow? Well, click it and go in there and look and see. Right? So one last thing that Lucid Charts could do for you, is it Lucid Charts? Lucid, just Lucid. I call them Lucid Charts, but you can also use them if you're talking to a potential customer. Granted, you don't want to overwhelm them, but just to give them an idea of, here's how we can take care of all your leads. Here's how we can take care of potential leads. These are coming up. Here's how we can take care of project management. Here's how we could take care of internal company operations, and so on and so forth. And this is just a snapshot overview. So I don't get anything for this. I don't have any referral link or anything like that. This is just called Lucid. I use it, and it makes making these custom build-outs so much easier. So, high-level community, I hope you enjoy. If you like it, subscribe for more like this to make your high-level build-outs, your high-level use, your high-level employment to your customers better, easier, and more fun. I'm David, the High Level Geek. We'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.